Hey friend, welcome to another YouTube video on the Jenna Rainey channel. Today I am walking you through a tutorial on how to create a Mother's Day card. So I'm doing two different versions of a Mother's Day card. One is a wreath, one has like a white block frame, which I don't know if that's a good way to phrase it, but you get the point. So we are doing a frame and a wreath in a few different styles of lettering. So Mother's Day is coming up. We want to show our mamas some love. They are hard-working people. Even if you don't have, your mom isn't still in your life or something, maybe you have a friend who is also a mom and they've been impactful in your life or they've added meaning to your life, send mothers some love this Mother's Day. Send a card in the mail, send one to your grandmother or whoever, and maybe they're not a mom, I don't know. Just nice to send cards these days. So let's dive into the tutorial and I'll show you how to whip up a Mother's Day card. Okay, so I have two different card designs laid out on this sheet of paper. You can pencil out the size card that you need if you have envelopes on hand, or just kind of make it up and cut it out. But I'm just gonna show you on this sheet of paper like this. I took a roll of this 3M and painter's tape and lightly sketched the interior circle for my first card because I'm gonna follow that circle for painting a wreath. So I've got my size 2 brush and I'm gonna grab some sap green and I'm just gonna start painting in some stems and leaves. If you need help with painting leaves, I've got a full series on leaves that will help you. But basically I'm pressing on my brush to make it get fat and then releasing pressure for the tip. Trying to follow the curve of the circle. We can paint flowers if we want to, or just do a full wreath. I'm just gonna do a full leaf wreath and add in flowers later or little berries later. Starting with the main stem of each leaf section first, following the curve, and then adding in my leaf bits. For these leaf sections, I'm making sure I'm not painting with the same hue or value of leaves color. So there's a little bit of variety and dimension. So some leaves are lighter than the others. Some have more yellow in them or more blue. But I'm just following the outline of my circle until we get all the way around the circle. And then closing in any gaps that feel awkward. And then I'm gonna just grab some opera rose, cadmium orange, and do these little, with my size 2 brush, the tip of my brush, I'm just gonna place some dots. So really, really easy Mother's Day card. Kind of staggering, going back and forth with each side of the circle where I'm placing these berries. la. And then for the lettering, I did pencil out Happy Mother's Day so that I made sure I got it exactly how I wanted it to look with pencil first. But if you're not comfortable with cursive, then I'm going to show you how to do some sans serif lettering with a size 2 watercolor brush using Mars Black. I'm going to use about a 75-degree angle on my brush away from the paper, so mostly vertical hold and little to no pressure on the brush. You can also use the side of the brush if you're more comfortable. And you can just bring the side of your brush along those letters. Happy. And then for all my cursive, everything, or calligraphy, everything that's going down, I'm going to add pressure to my brush so that the stroke is wide or thick. Then any upstroke or cross stroke, I'll have little to no pressure. So on that downstroke, I'm just gradually easing into some pressure so I don't get that chunky edge like I had. So little to no pressure on the upstroke, add pressure on the downstroke. Pressure, release. Pressure, release. If you're not comfortable with cursive, then I recommend starting with some of my calligraphy tutorials before you work in some cursive lettering. Otherwise, you can do some sans serif, like so. But we don't need to make it super precise. This is a handmade card for our mamas. Then for this card idea, I've got some 3M artist tape down. I'm going to paint flowers on top of it for a little floral frame around our letters. So you may really loose style flowers. I'm just grabbing Opera Rose, Cadmium Orange, and some Scarlet Lake. And I'm going to start with the top first and overlap the tape so that we can see a cutoff for some of these elements. And then I'm going to grab my size 2 brush and paint in some stems and leaves. Nothing too complicated. Would be a very fun card to open in the mail though. Little curve down on the side. And now the bottom too, so size 6 brush for the flowers. And we've got orange over here, so I'm gonna make my orange flower on the opposite side, so we are not too matchy-matchy. thing, adding in my leaves with my size 2 brush. Overlapping the tape in some areas. And then that's good enough for now, and I'm gonna do my letters and then pull up the tape and see if we need to add any more floral elements. Similar to my lettering for the first card, I have also penciled in some cursive letters for Love You Mom. So for this style lettering, I'm gonna use the tip of my brush pointed at a pretty much vertical angle, and I am going to just curve my way through this, making sure I have a good amount of water on my brush so I can curve around really easily. But I'm not angling my brush, I've got it pretty much straight up and down. And looping around these curves. Love you, Mom. Now we can do the most satisfying part and carefully peel up the paper. And then I'm gonna go and add some framing on the edges. Just on the edges. I'm just trying to pull the border from the top and bottom into the sides a little bit. You can leave it as is. I think it brings it in a little bit, like a hanging ivy. And there you have it. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you love this tutorial. As always, make sure you subscribe and turn on the notifications for our channel so you don't miss any future tutorials. We also just launched a Patreon channel where I know you're going to love the ad-free content just for $2 a month if you're sick of the ads. We got $2 a month for that if you want ad-free content. We're also doing other tiers for Patreon patrons. If you want a Patreon-only tutorial, so you will only be able to access this tutorial if you're subscribed to our Patreon, and also a live monthly class in some of the tiers. So make sure you go check out that Patreon. And also let me know in the comments below, do you have any special Mother's Day traditions that you'd like to share, or maybe plans this Mother's Day? Let me know. I'd love to take a little peek into your life for Mother's Day. Let me know in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video.